Welcome to the Flip Thinking Podcast. In this podcast, you'll listen to intimate conversations between Berthold Gunster and his guests. Together, they'll explore the guest's personal problem and try to make it feel lighter or make it disappear altogether. This can be achieved in different ways. Sometimes they can simply solve the problem, but more often than not, they'll find that they have to let go of expectations or views they hold about themselves. At other times, they can only observe the fact that there is a problem without judging it. And in some cases, they can flip think the problem.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
To the Omdenken podcast. Maybe you can tell me something about what's your name and who are you?
My name is Steven.
Steven. Hi, Steven.
Hi, Berthold. I'm 50 years old.
50?
I was 50.
Oh, that's young.
Yes, 5-0, man.
Yeah.
The big 5-0.
This year?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me of that. I appreciate
no
that. I was born and raised in the United States, and I have lived in the Netherlands for a number of years.
When did you come to Holland then?
I came after university, so in the mid-90s.
Yeah.
And I've stayed ever since, and it's a great place. And
You
I love
work
it
here?
I do indeed.
Yeah.
I'm an English teacher, and I'm divorced, and I have two sons who are teenagers, 15 and 13. Okay. So right in the middle of puberty. It's awesome.
Yeah, I know. I've been there. So, well, just start off with the question, the big question. What's your problem?
Here's my problem. My problem, Berthold, is that I have recently been diagnosed with bipolar type 2 disorder.
Okay.
Which is a big deal. And the reason it is a problem for me right now is that I don't know what to do now.
With
and
this diagnosis?
Yeah, because I have suspected my whole life that I have this disorder. From about the age of 20, I thought, well, my mood swings are not what normal people have. So that probably is an indicator. But it has taken me 30 years to actually get into the process of diagnosing it. And now I have a diagnosis, and it doesn't feel like it was going to feel. In other words, I thought I would feel...
You had some expectations.
I did. My expectation was I will feel relieved.
Yeah.
And I'll think,
because now I know who I am.
Now we have a box
an
checked.
Explanation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The opposite has happened. Now I feel more lost than before. Rationally, I know what I need to do is continue therapy and take medication. I know that's not what I'm talking about. That's not my problem. My problem is sort of reframing my identity. You know, what club am I in now?
The crazy club.
Exactly.
The crazy. Now you belong to the crazy people.
You know,
I couldn't live with that idea. I couldn't. I don't know how you do it, and you are 50, right? So,
crazy and old.
Yeah, so there's no hope anymore.
Exactly how it feels.
So how is it to be diagnosed, to be labeled as bipolar type 2, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell me, how does this label feel?
Yeah. It feels scarier than I thought it would feel. What I mean by that is the intensity of finally having a psychiatric label really impacts me. Even though I suspected it, once it becomes real, it is scarier. That's all I can say. There's more fear.
Why? How does it feel then?
That's a good question. Let me give you an example of what I mean. So now that I know, and the people in the white coats have told me, I'll be in the car.
Wait. People in the white
those
coats.
are the
So this is your world now, right?
This is my world now.
This is what you just told me. People in the white coats.
Correct.
Yeah? Continue.
Yeah, correct.
The people in the white coats.
I go to
flew over the cuckoo's nest.
Exactly.
There you are now.
That's it.
Yeah.
I go to that place and I sit in the woods and I talk about my problems.
And then you die.
And then it's all over, baby.
Yeah.
So I'm in the car and I'm driving. And what is different now from before is I'm driving and suddenly have some peace and feel happy about my personal relationships and my work and my kids and my sports. And I'll think, God damn, I'm happy. This is wonderful. Does that mean I'm manic? Is this a manic episode? Do I now need to call my shrink? You see what I mean? And I didn't do that before.
It makes you insecure.
Yeah. Now that I have been labeled that I have manic episodes, I think any flash of happiness is a manic episode. And that makes me feel sick. And that makes me feel like, do I need to call the psychiatrist and tell him do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
That wasn't going on before. So that is a tangible example of the fear that is now new because I didn't have it before I was diagnosed.
So you're insecure about when you feel what you feel. Is this a real feeling, or is this a sign of your
exactly
illness?
Exactly. Is this
Psychological.
legitimate? happiness that I have earned and created?
Or is it false?
Or is it fake because it's manic because I am Mr. Bipolar guy?
Yeah. And all your feelings are in fact fake now, of course.
Nothing's real. It all is how do I figure out what is the disorder and what is just going on in Steven's life?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So this raises a very philosophical and difficult question. What's real in life and what isn't?
Exactly.
So how you lived before this diagnosis, did you then know clearly what was real and wasn't? Did you then know it?
I didn't ask myself the question.
No.
I just lived through the moments and the feelings. And certainly you're aware, wow, this depression is really sticky and it seems to last a long time. Could be some kind of mental condition. But that question was not something I pondered for long.
Because then life was real and emotions were real. And now emotions are fake.
Possibly could be fake. Or fake, a result of the disorder. And how do I know which is real and which is the disorder? I can't discern.
Does it matter? Does it matter?
Well, it obviously matters only in the sense that I have stress around it.
But why do you have stress around it and why does it matter?
Yeah.
Take your time.
Right.
I think this is a difficult question.
Yeah.
Why does it matter?
Well, I guess if I think I'm experiencing happiness, genuine human happiness, then question whether it is real because it is manic. It matters because I can't relax in the feeling. I can't be with it because I'm overthinking, analyzing, and questioning it. That's why it matters. If I could just accept that's what it is, maybe I wouldn't have to ponder and think. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Okay.
So asking yourself the question, is this fake or not? This is the problem. The question is the problem.
Yeah.
And you'll never get an answer to the question.
Is
because
there
you
never an
know.
answer?
No, you never. But you never knew before, only because you didn't have a diagnosis.
Right.
You didn't raise the question.
True.
So raising the question is a problem.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let me sit with that. I'm feeling that immediately in my body. That's interesting.
What happens in your body then?
Just goosebumps, not arms, but also legs, which is twice as many goosebumps as normal people get. So what does that mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me sit with that. The question itself is the problem.
Yeah.
Okay. So is the next logical step stop asking the question, Stephen?
You're doing my job now. That's a good observation.
Yes.
And you can do this because the brain raises this question.
Yeah.
So the only thing you can do is look at your brain like a helicopter and be aware of the fact that this is what the brain does. And then laugh.
Why does the brain do it, though, Berthold?
The brain wants logic, structure, control. The brain wants to control emotions.
Okay.
The brain wants to control everything.
Yeah.
This is what the brain loves. And tragically enough, a lot of times we just don't know things.
Yeah.
We have emotions and we have them.
Yeah.
We just have them. We don't know. Before, you didn't have to raise the question because you were not diagnosed. Now you're diagnosed, the brain is in panic. Who am I?
Yeah.
What does I feel? What does it mean?
Yeah.
So the thing is, look at this panic brain and say, ha, ha, ha. My brain is in panic. This is fun because I still have emotions. I have my sons. I do my things.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with my life, except the question, who am I? And what am I feeling? And is it fake or not?
Yeah, right. Right.
So the question is the problem.
The question is the problem.
Yeah.
And what you're saying...
The only way out is to say, my life is fake now.
Yeah.
I have fake emotions. I have fake sons. I have a fake name. All is fake.
All an illusion.
It's all illusion. And this isn't true either, you know?
Right. I get that part. That go ahead and run with the brain being panicky and asking the question. Embrace that. That's what you're saying.
Make fun of it.
Make
fun of the
it.
brain. And then
there he goes again.
And there goes my fake brain.
Yeah. So is it in your opinion, is it important? So this happened in the car, right? So subconscious brain is going nuts in the car because you're...
I have a fake emotion.
Yeah.
I have a fake emotion.
Okay.
I'm happy, but I'm not really happy.
But
I'm just
is it
bipolar.
real? Or is it just manic? Right, that's the...
The brain goes in panic then,
indeed.
right?
Just bombarding me with that question.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is what we do is acknowledge that is what is going on.
Yeah.
That's the mechanism. Panic brain, and then sort of step out of it and see it.
Yep.
And then what?
And then make fun of it. Make fun of it.
Okay.
Just,
what does that sound like? Make fun of it. Do it for me. What would that look like?
There goes my fake brain.
Yeah. Okay.
My brain is fake. Everything is fake and true at the same time.
It's all manic.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all.
I got it.
It all doesn't matter.
I got it.
You are not in panic. Your brain goes into panic, and then you can helicopter above this and get into this position. And this is difficult to do.
Yeah.
You pull yourself out of the situation, observe your brain doing this, And then the moment you can observe, then the position of the observer isn't the panic anymore.
No,
you can observe the panic.
And when I achieve that state, and I have stepped out and I have made fun of my brain,
and love the brain, because the brain wants structure,
right?
And the brain wants to have a solid idea of who you are.
Got it.
Which is a funny assignment, because you never will succeed in this.
We're not going to get an answer.
No, never.
I got it.
We are a question mark.
Forever.
Yeah, and that's
diagnosis
fun.
or not.
Life is a question mark. Yeah. It's an adventure. Things are transforming and evolving. Sometimes you know things, and a lot of times you just don't know things. No. We have emotions. Do you know all your emotions? I don't know my emotions. Yeah. And then 10 years later, I think, oh, maybe I was glad because, life is too complicated.
Yeah, okay. And do you believe that when I get out to that space and I'm able to observe and acknowledge and make fun, that then the question will disappear?
No, your life will be a disaster from now on. And
that's all it is. This is a very uplifting conversation.
You're trying to solve your life, right? You're trying to solve. In the Matrix, it's the solve square.
Right.
How can I solve?
Get rid of
how can I fix my bipolar thing?
Indeed.
And the assignment to fix in itself is the problem.
Doomed.
It's the problem.
I get it.
It's the problem. You have emotions, and well, if they're fake or not, you just don't know. You just don't know. They come and go like the wind and like clouds.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. This is sort of a bigger philosophical question around the same issue. I really get your point, and that is already helpful because I can kind of dance in that moment with, look at panic brain going crazy. Why do we get diagnosed in the first place then? What is the point of it?
Well, maybe it's. I'm not a psychiatrist.
Right.
I'm not an expert on the field of being bipolar 1 or type 2.
Right.
I don't know the exact difference between it. There must be a difference between type 1 and type 2.
Is, yeah.
So this is for the listeners and for you. Well, it's very important to know this.
Yeah.
But I do know that physical or psychological people experience problems that can be relieved or solved, or maybe relieved by medicine.
Right.
And it works.
Yeah, okay.
And I don't know why it works. A lot of psychiatrists don't know either why it exactly works, but they just try things. You know, with ADHD, it's the same. Yeah. They try things, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. So the only thing I say, let's be glad with that we have a kind of diagnosed system, and that we have a system with medicines, and it can relieve our life. Yeah. Partly or for a greater deal, and be glad with this possibility, and for the rest, just move on with your life.
Clear.
And you have a kind of a handicap or diagnosis. Maybe it's a quality too. You can do something with it.
Oh, for sure.
It's something.
Absolutely. Oh, no question.
This is the uplifting part of this interview. Yeah, because
I mean, I'm in a creative profession, and I use the gasoline as a serious fuel in this, no doubt. So that part I love.
Isn't that fake then?
Yeah, I guess now that's just as much an illusion as anything else.
Right.
Indeed. But that I frame as positive. Yeah. I like that energy.
Yeah.
So I do use it. But I understand. So you've answered my question. Let me just summarize it for myself.
Right.
So here's the positive of the diagnosis. I get into a accepted, peer-reviewed, researched diagnostic model. Yeah.
And they stay close to you, right? They will follow you.
I will be monitored and be going to the institution in the forest forever, my friend.
With the people with the white coats.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in being in that model, they can prescribe medication for me, which I have been doing and works. So that's
adjusted
the answer.
in time, right?
Right. We're working that system, and it is beneficial. So yes, I get it.
Did we reach a point that you can say, okay, this is the answer to my question?
Yes, and the answer to my question is it's all fake, which means when my brain kicks into that question, I am going to acknowledge what is really going on, which is my brain's attempt to regain control, make sense of it. Yeah. There's no point. So what I've learned from your answer is at that moment, and it'll happen as soon as I get back on my bicycle. Here we go. Look at this guy. There we go. Look at that guy.
He's
funny
panicking. He's panicking.
Here he goes again.
Yeah.
And the answer to my problem is be with that. It's okay. It's fine. It's never going away.
Can you feel peace or rest?
No question. Already.
And can you describe this?
That's what those goosebumps were. Yeah. Those goosebumps were. It's happening again, but in my thighs as well. Doesn't really. Suddenly, this has become an erotic podcast.
How can a bipolar guy have such great feelings? Isn't that fake, Stephen?
Yes, yes, it is. Yes, it is fake.
Yeah, but it feels okay, and there's no panic.
No, there's
no panic there, right?
No, there isn't. If there isn't peace, I wouldn't be smiling. You can feel that.
Yeah.
It's calm. So yeah, that is the answer.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Thank you for this conversation. I think in life we have an ego, a brain that bombards us with logic questions. Yeah. And the question is, what is my emotion fake or not, is in itself a logic question. Yeah. At the same time, it's an absurd question because how do you know the answer?
What difference does it make?
No, but the brain is continuously panicking. And this is what our thinking does. Right. And in your situation, it's attached to the bipolar thing. But we all do this in life. Sure. It's not your issue, it's everybody's issue. Right. So what do we do when brains panic? And the answer is observing this. And this is the observe square of the matrix. Right. Observe that this is what the brain does. And by observing, the problem becomes smaller. Yeah. Because then we know it's not that we are panicking, but the brain is panicking. And there's a kind of a state of awareness where we can helicopter the situation. And at this moment, we feel peace. In this situation, we can feel peace.
I want to say something around that because you just used the matrix, and I am indeed familiar with that. So we hadn't framed it in this way. Now what you're saying is it's the observe square. Yeah. Which to me, in my experience, is the most challenging one because you don't have that immediate gratification. You have to be with it. That's the helicopter part.
Right. And for the listeners, if you don't...
Period.
It sucks, period. And for the listeners who don't know the Omdenken matrix, there are 4 ways to deal with a problem. And it's all about how do you manage expectations and facts. Because the problem is a contradiction between facts and expectations. And sometimes you can change facts and you can change expectations. You have a problem and you can do nothing with it or about it. Like having a chronic illness or stuck in traffic jam. And the only thing you then can do is observe that you have a problem, which we call the observed square. Yeah. But then stop making a problem out of the fact that you have a problem.
Got it.
And this is what gives immediate peace. Because then we can embrace the problem, still feel the pain or the complexity of it. Because you have a complex diagnosis, which
is painful.
And it influences your life. It does. But then you can be immediately at peace with having this complexity in your life.
Yes. Yeah, I understand. Observe. The observe square. We can't do the other ones? Yeah, big time. Still going on. Seriously.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm done. I get it.
I'm done
totally
too.
Get it. Fantastic.
It was exhausting, this conversation. It's not my language, English. I'm just trying.
You did a hell of a job. You did.
Give me
this is the only thing I can say about the fact that you chose to do this in English. Yeah. For the last 15, 20 minutes, I was not thinking about what language we were speaking. And that is the ultimate achievement. Yeah. In other words, you did it without us being aware of it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. As a Dutch guy, I must say you were doing a very great job.
You're welcome.
Your language, I didn't have any pronunciation.
No, I'm pretty good.
I'm pretty good, Thank you very much.
Thank you, Berthold.
And, keep your head up high.
Will do.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Do you want to flip think your own problem too? In Berthold Gunster's bestseller Flip Thinking, you will learn all about the life-changing art of turning problems into opportunities. Flip Thinking is available in England, Italy, Portugal, South Korea, United States, and soon in 17 other countries too. For info, check out flipthinking.info.